Yes. Good. Good. Yes. Good. Keep it going. Keep it going. Yes.
What's good, family? Shout out to my doggy Clinton Baptiste for sending in them coins and boosting up your man the YB's dire coin situation. So we just saw there your man's Anthony Zest Johnston with his number one fangirl, orgasmic fangirl trainer. And I don't give a F what no one says. This is a bad look. Super duper bad. Yeah? Let me tell you something right now. What do we know? Well, it's worrying because Eddie Hearn keeps telling us, yeah, AJ got a new trainer and he got announced this, he got announced that. Some people have been throwing around names like Robert Garcia and whatnot. I mean, they're bad enough in my opinion. I don't rate Robert Garcia. He ain't done nothing that turns me on to that extent. However, never mind Robert Garcia or anyone else. AJ, don't forget people. The Usyk, the Alexander versus AJ rematch is being alleged for May, June. It's now mid-Feb. So like seriously, AJ should be in camp with the person he's working with now. I mean, what's he waiting for? It's been 4 or 5 months. He's had 4 or 5 months to screen, and I'm actually hearing now that AJ ain't making no changes. I'm hearing AJ is doubling down with his current setup. Yeah? He's doubling down with, and to be honest with you, they're the signs he made anyway after the fight. Don't forget, after the fight, AJ said, yeah, I've sat everyone down and we've had a big meeting. He didn't say, I've sacked Rob and I've sacked Fernando Alonso and I've sacked Jobber Clayton. That's what he didn't do. Oh, don't worry, we've all had a big meeting. And what? Big meeting? Heads need to roll, Johnston. You're getting beat by middleweights. What part of that don't you understand? So it's no big shock to me. Oh yeah, and by the way, don't also forget that AJ also said after the fight, well, yeah, I've been going to different gyms, but the trainers need to understand if I do come and do some work with them, they can't expect to be paid. So, again, his mindset weren't in the right place. And all of this is hinting at AJ, number one, doubling down with his same incompetent team, but number two, or bringing in some new, zesty, funny style 2022 trainer who no one knows about, who ain't got no... Listen, AJ's career's been based on trainers who don't have no clout or no experience in the sport. Angel Bermandez. Yeah, Angel Bermandez, what's his resume? What ferocious, aggressive fighters has he trained? In fact, what fighters has he trained full stop? You can't even say, well, YB, at least Angel Fernandez is like Ben Davidson, who can train fighters to run around the place. At least Ben Davidson can do that properly. Yeah, at least Peter Fury can do that properly. Your man Fernandez ain't even got that resume. We don't even know he can do that properly, which shows. Oops. Then you got the other one, Jobber Clayton. Where's his resume at? Don't no one know where his resume's at. And now, to be honest with you, this could be either. I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure whether this is some new cat. I'm not sure whether this is one of the other ones, Fernandez and Jobber. All we do know is this is following the trend of AJ loving to be surrounded by zest. Just listen. Oh, AJ. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Don't forget, I can't lie to you yet. I actually feel as if AJ's trolling. And people think, YB, you're always trying to make it about you. I don't care what no one says. Why AJ putting this out? He knows. Yeah? I don't care what no one says. AJ has got a fetish for the YB riding him. That's a fact. Bottom line. He knows I'm going to hear this. Oh, AJ. Oh, lovely. What's wrong with this guy? I don't care what no one says, yeah? I'm telling you now. If I'm in the sport of boxing, ain't no Donny making noises like that when I'm training. Oh, AJ. Oh, what's wrong with... Listen, let me tell you something now. I've never heard Custiamato sitting there stroking himself off about Mike Tyson. Yeah? I never heard all that. I never heard a bunch of groaning from Cuss. That's what I didn't hear. What's with these new funny style trainers? He doesn't need to be praised every single thing. He's doing what he's supposed to do in training. But it's to do with this whole 2022 mental health stuff and mental, what do they call it, sports psychology, all this new age thinking. What happened to this cracking on? What happened to getting praised when it's earned? Oops. Yeah? Oh no, don't praise people when they earn it, YB. It's 2022. Everyone gets a medal. You get praised for coming 7th. What? Yeah? You get praised for coming 7th. And that's actually one thing that I do actually respect my dad about in the past. In as much as when I was coming up, I was brought up with a win. If you ain't winning, you're losing. Simple as that. If you didn't win, you might as well have lost. And at the time, it felt a bit harsh, but I appreciate it now. I really do. I appreciate it. If you ain't winning, you lost. Yeah? And it's shocking that even AJ, who got to the heights he has, he still, after losing to Usyk, came out and said, "Oh, I hope the fans enjoyed that." What? You've been cloned. Oops. I'm sorry, something ain't adding up here. Someone, yeah, who's supposed to be a super athlete, or put it this way, it's either one of two things going on. Either AJ's been cloned and this ain't the same person, or he's just so athletically gifted, he never had it, if that makes sense. In as much as he always had a weak mindset, but he was just so superior that he just was able to keep winning. Because most people, you need to have a proper dogged mindset. Most people don't have all the gifts, and therefore have to leverage their strong mindset to get him to the top. AJ may just be a complete fruitcake, yeah, but because he's got them genetics, it's a bit like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt isn't a fruitcake, but he was literally miles above. Usain Bolt didn't have to train properly and could just turn up and win. He didn't necessarily need a dogged, pushing through mindset, did he? That's an example of how genetic excellence can just sometimes get you through without having to really think about the mental stuff so much. Most athletes, though, they have to knuckle down with their mind. Everything has to be optimized. It might be the case that AJ was just an exceptional athlete who just lucked his way through the game, essentially. Oops. That's what it's looking like now. If it's one or the other anyway. Because this stuff to me is wild. Bottom line, it's like AJ wants these kind of individuals around him. Many people, myself included, have been telling him, you need some proper people around you. I understand balance. I understand. Oh, I want some balance. Fine. Even though scrap balance. How much balance did Mike Tyson have in his prime with Cus D'Amato in the camp? Oops, he had no balance. He had Cus. What you need in the camp is greatness. That's what you need. Look at Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence Okolie has greatness in his camp with Shane McGuigan. You don't need a whole bag of man. Oh, but YOB, it's 2022 and AJ needs to have balance. Oh, balance? Where's your balance then, AJ? What real boxing dons have you got in your camp? All I see is a bunch of sports science zesties. That's all I see. Oh, hey, got more videos coming soon. AJ, he's in Loughborough. He's doing this special super duper training. I've been criticising AJ and Dilly and the Shillian shite. Being in Loughborough, doing all this super duper training, and then they gassed in 4 rounds. Yeah, you don't need all the bells and whistles. Not you. Let me tell you what you don't need right now. You didn't lose to Usyk because you didn't have no bells and whistles. You lost to Usyk because you got no balls. You lost to Usyk because you got no cardio, and you've been having no cardio. How many times do you have to do the same process with the same boring trainers, the same zesty trainers, the same zesty sports science? How many times do you have to run out of gas in the fight after 4 rounds to realise it's not working? And that's why I tell you, I know AJ Man fans get big mad, but AJ's low IQ. He's not intelligent. I'm sorry, he's not. Because when he keeps banging his head against the wall and not being able to work out why he's got a headache. Oh well, I keep doing sports science and I keep running out of gas after 4 rounds. Have you not worked out that going to these institutions can't give you cardio? Only hard work can. And you ain't doing the hard work. Because I don't care what no one says. If you train properly, and it's not like, the crazy thing is, AJ's actually in the gym every day as well, which makes it worse. Like, how can you be in the gym every day and not have a gas tank for 4 rounds, after 4 rounds? It's wild. I don't know what these guys are doing. I really don't. But yet, he stays doubling down on the stuff he knows don't work. We know AJ hanging around with these soft individuals has made him soft. But yet, he brings in, it was bad enough. We all heard the corner reaction during the Usyk fight. Similar kind of orgasmic stuff. Oh, AJ. Oh, great. Oh, again, AJ. Oh, we heard it all. Proper deep groaning dons. I couldn't believe it. Fucking hell, we all heard it. Next thing we know. And what gets me is the fact that that was one of the key critiques. Every single person who watched that fight, said the same thing. Why was everyone so orgasmic in the corner? Why was everyone groaning like a horny 15-year-old? Do you know what I'm saying? Or sorry, like a horny 60-year-old. Because it wasn't even the young one, it was the old one. Oh, yeah? Probably like, what's wrong with these guys? Why was your whole team... And it wasn't just one person. I actually think one of AJ's key criteria for being a trainer is that you have to be moist and you have to groan. You have to make groaning sounds when he's in the ring. Because there wasn't one man in his camp just holding pat and standing there and just being on point. There wasn't one. Every single one was stroking themselves off at average work. It's like, have you not got one man in the camp who's going to be solid? No, you got the whole camp is Zest. And that's why I think Kelly Maloney come in, truth be known. I'm sorry, it's not a coincidence. How do you end up being surrounded by Zest? I'm sorry, that doesn't just happen. Yeah, you don't end up with 10-man deep Zest. When you think about the numbers, in society, it's something like only, 1 in 10 are Zesty? Yeah, only 1 in 10 are Zesty. So, how have you got 100% of your team Zesty? That's by design. By design, AJ feels comfortable. He likes the environment, being surrounded by pink fluffy things and whatnot. And he likes hearing men moan as he trains. Because, like I said, I've never heard no other camp like it. I've watched a whole bunch of training videos before. I've watched a bunch of old-time great training videos. I never remember any of their team. Yes, you get the fangirls. But even that's really more of a modern creation. Mike Tyson, towards the end of his career, had the fangirls in his camp saying, that's excellent and whatnot. But they weren't groaning. Even the cheerleading ones. I remember one guy was like he used to dress in some military gear, and he always used to come into Mike Tyson's camp and gas the place up. That was towards the end of his career. When Mike was in his prime with us, there weren't no cheerleaders. You don't need cheerleaders. And the last thing AJ needs right now is more zesty, groaning, orgasmic cheerleaders. Oh, yeah. And I no word of a lie. I tried to listen to it and think, you know what, maybe you're being biased, YB, but I'm sorry. Listen to it back. Listen to it twice and tell me that's appropriate. In fact, tell me what, in my mind, when you're dealing with the top level of athletics like this is, when you're trying to be in the pursuit of being the greatest, everything you do, I believe, needs to have a purpose. So my question would be, what was Mr. Big... IB, you could never train AJ, you couldn't, but these zesty guys can. Wow, that's why I always laugh. People laugh at me. YB, I can't believe you think you could train AJ. Well, this guy can. Oops. Yeah. But like I said, my question would be, what benefit, what purpose was that having? Everything, just groaning and moaning. I mean, was the work I wouldn't mind so much. Let's say AJ, was in a fight and he was lighting someone up with vicious, accurate head and body combinations, slipping and sliding, catching and countering, slipping, sliding, making people miss, making people pay. If AJ was doing that in a fight, and one of his trainers got gassed saying, "Wow, look at my charge, doing all these high level things I've trained him to do." If he wants to moan and groan a bit orgasmically, I'd get it. I'd say, you know what, I can empathise with that. But your man that's got his head boxed off for being zesty, and now you're in the gym, and once again, I've been critiquing this for a long time. AJ has no problem performing on the bag or on the pads. His problem is, and I've seen it, the minute he gets in front of someone, his back end starts twitching. His sphincter muscles start opening and closing. That's a fact. We all saw the Lawrence Okoli technique sparring video. All AJ could do was dance backwards and dance out of range. He couldn't even hold his feet, not even properly sparring. It's embarrassing. He has a problem with that. Ever since, I'm not sure when it was, but either way he got a problem. He's scared. He's scared to engage, and that's a fact. He doesn't need to be on the bag, and he doesn't need to be getting gassed up on the bag. Yeah? AJ wasn't doing nothing special. There's nothing I see there that's special. We can, no word of a lie, anyone who trains for a year can do what AJ did there. It's not hard to slip shots that aren't being thrown. Anyone can, all AJ's doing is swaying left and right, and throwing some arms. But the point is, have you ever seen AJ do any of that in actual fight? Oops. Have you ever seen AJ actually slip, slide, counter and pivot off? And no, you haven't. And that's the point. And guess what? AJ, and this is one of the key criticisms I had last time. Last time, going into the Usyk fight, I said, listen, why is AJ doing all these super complex things? We see Lomachenko do these kind of things. And even he finds these hard to pull off. Yeah? You don't see Lomachenko slipping and sliding, pivoting and doing it every 2 seconds. Yeah, every now and then, in the right circumstance, he may get it off, but... And these people are 130-pounders who's been training to do this their whole life. And some people say, well, heavyweights can never do that. I actually don't agree with it. I actually believe a heavyweight trained the right way can be as skillful as that. But can AJ do that? Or is it smart for AJ to be trying to learn all of these super high IQ, super high skill, super tricky things in space of 4 months? No, it's not. Yeah? These are the things that should have been trained on for the last 5 years, 6 years. But he hasn't been doing that. And for this camp is super simple. You need to have a tight guard. Don't worry about doing all this tricky stuff that you can't do and you're never going to do in the ring. I'm telling you now, AJ is never going to pull off all this slipping, sliding, pivoting, dancing, spinning, all that. He ain't going to pull it off. He can't pull off the basics. AJ can barely throw left and right. Yeah? Watch the Pulev fight. He can't even do that properly because he can't even hit the body. He just headhunting. Oops. Yeah? You got a very basic fighter with low intelligence in the ring. All AJ can do is headhunt. Facts. When AJ gets going, he headhunting. Watch the Vlad fight, watch the Pulev fight. Pure headhunt. He don't know how to mix it up. And you're trying to teach that man who doesn't know how to mix up head and body to try and do all this extra stuff. There's an old saying. Let's walk before we can run. I want to see AJ, before I want to do any of this spinny around shit, I want to see AJ walking forward. That's nothing. Never mind hitting the head and body. Let's just get I've got a whole video demonstrating it myself and exposing it. Let's just get AJ walking forward with a high guard. Oops. AJ's renowned for throwing shots and bringing his hands back to his chest and getting clipped in between, on top of his head. Oops. There's a reason you don't really see Alvarez getting countered like that, because when he throws his punches, his hands come back to the high guard. Let's start there, shall we? And by the way, that principle, high guard, high and reliable, consistent guard, that's actually something that's a key to winning this fight against Usyk. Guess what isn't a key to winning this fight against Usyk? Slipping, sliding, bobbing, weaving, pivoting, and all this other stuff. What's wrong with these guys? I don't get it. This fight's simple to win this fight. You need watch Anthony Yard. Yard versus, what's his name? That last guy, Queen Arthur. That's a baseline. Nice tight guard, and you come marching forward. Bend your knees and walk forward. Catching and parrying on the way in. Yeah, you probably can take one, but you're going to get 2 off yourself. Oops. That's it. It really is that, YB, it's not that simple. YB, he needs all these zesty, fruity trainers who are going to suck him off whilst he trains. I told you, he tried the whole zesty thing. Now, he needs basics. He needs to be drilled in the basics. I don't want to see no spinning around and slipping. You ain't doing that. You ain't. Yeah? Let's get this down pat first. When I see AJ go in there with a nice high guard and he's walking forward and he's confident and he's catching, then we can talk about other things. I actually do believe, I'm the one who's been saying for years, I think AJ should be slipping, and there's no reason AJ shouldn't be implementing some Mike Tyson strategies, in as much as that was one of my key things. One of my key points about AJ was that for the Fury fight, he should be looking to step and slip on the way in and get a counter off. And get a shot off. Yeah? Step, slip, hook. Perfect combination. You step, and as you step, you slip, and then you can bang the left hook. Perfect. Things like that. It's how AJ should be closing the gap against Fury. This is way back when, before he started losing to everyone. I've never seen AJ step and slip before. And you're doing all this slipping and the thing, for me, yeah, slipping and sliding and whatnot, it's defensive. It's defensive orientated. You should, for this camp, you need to worry about hitting something. That's what you want to worry about. Your problem wasn't really the underlying problem of the Usyk fight wasn't, well, AJ needs us. It was all because of AJ's defense. Yeah, you didn't lose the Usyk fight because your defense wasn't on point. If AJ had 100% defense, he still would have lost the Usyk fight. Does that make sense? You still would have lost. Because there weren't no offense going. AJ literally had no offense. That's what the problem was. Let's fix the problems. And I've been saying this for the longest time. When AJ lost to Ruiz, I said, fix the actual problem. The actual problem was AJ defense leaky. The actual problem was AJ don't know how to he don't know how to fight responsibly. He doesn't know how to dig shots. All he knows how to do is just go wild and throw combinations with his chin in the air and hope for the best. That's all he knows how to do. Yeah? So fix the problems. Instead, they chose the strategy of, well, we're fighting let's not fix the issue we have. Let's not fix the fact that he's not feeling very confident. And instead, let's completely change our whole character. AJ's character was based on aggression and offensiveness. Next thing we know, he comes out like Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko and runs for his life. Embarrassing it was to watch. And even myself to some extent. Even I shield. Praying that maybe, I gave him an excuse. I said, oh no, maybe, no. But I was wrong, bottom line. He shit his pants. That's a fact. The facts are, he shit his pants. I'm consistent. I say Tyson Fury shit his pants against Vlad, and I say the same, your man. And to be honest, that's not... Yeah, Fury didn't shit his pants, but either way, he ran around the place. Bottom line. Fury ran around the place against Vlad. No good, in my opinion. I don't want to watch heavyweights run around the place. That's my personal preference. Some people call it boxing. I call it shit in your pants. AJ... Difference is, AJ actually lost. AJ lost trying to be aggressive and then completely changed AJ's whole identity was based on a certain way of fighting. He changed that for Mr. Blobby. Mr. Blobby turned him out. Yeah, when people go to jail, and they go to jail heterosexual, and they completely change their identity, that's what you call getting turned out. Yeah, you go to jail straight, you come out of jail zesty. That is exactly what happened to AJ with Mr. Blobby. AJ went into the fight aggressive, and he came out like Mr. Blobby turned him out and put him 100%. That's what happened. That's embarrassing. And I said, before the Ruiz rematch, I said, if I was leading AJ's camp, I'd rather we lose this fight and be able to sleep with ourselves than win being turned out. AJ and his team said, no, don't worry, we'll shit our pants, and that'll be that. And unfortunately, because the real problems weren't addressed, now it becomes apparent you can't outbox real boxers like Usyk, like Fury. Oops. And now AJ's completely lost. Because rather than fix the things that needed to be fixed, now he's completely lost his identity. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Doesn't know who he is. Because it's all been mixed up. And he's been sold the dream. Oh no, we don't have... AJ should have been told, listen AJ, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to be the best. Shock, yeah? It's going to be hard to be known as one of the all-time greats. Who told you it's going to be easy? Oh, my name's AJ, and I had a hard fight with Vlad, and I don't really want a hard fight anymore. Well, you need to retire then. That's what he should have been told. Not, well, okay, yeah, well, let me pander to your insecurities, and yeah, let's find a way to shit our pants in every fight. Because unfortunately, shitting your pants means you're going to lose anyway. So you may as well have lost being true to yourself. Well, you may as well have lost in pursuit of your best final self. And AJ's best final self is not Ruiz 2. And now look at the legacy. The legacy is now you lost to Mr. Blobby, you lost to Mr. Middleweight, and now you're hiring fangirls to blow smoke up your ass as you train. And the crazy thing is, there's AJ fans who watch this and listen to this, and they're ranting and raving. Wow, yeah, look at this skill, and oh, I'll tell you what to do. Show me a video of AJ doing all this spinning crap in actual fight, and then we'll talk about all this skill. And you can even see the man, one of the individuals who's gassing AJ up. He kind of walks into the camera shot and then walks out. He knows how embarrassing it sounds. But this sums up the whole environment and the culture of AJ's camp. It's a zesty camp. It's a zesty culture, full of zest. Yeah? Because I'll tell you this now, if I was head trainer, that Don making all them noises would have been pulled to the side. And I'd have had to tell him, listen, boss man, you need to wind that down. Yeah? We're here to be totally ferocious, in the ring and out. We ain't here to blow smoke up people's arse. We ain't here to rub people off. Yeah? I don't know where you learnt that. I don't know where you learnt that the heavyweight world champion of the heavyweight champion of the world needs to be stroked off every 2 seconds, doing things he's supposed to do. Yeah? I don't praise people for doing things they're supposed to do. You're supposed to be training. You're supposed to be skillful. Oh, AJ. Oh, what? Oh, what's wrong with it? It's weird. How are you even making them noises about another man? I don't even get that. No word of a lie, yeah. Even when I'm with gal, I ain't making them kind of noises. That's a fact. Yeah. Swear down. I guarantee you, yeah. If there was an audio recording of all the times I was with gal, I guarantee you there wouldn't be one as vocal as that. And now, like, my man's in front of a whole bag of man watching a Donny exercising. It shows you the level of zest going on in the world today, full of it. But look at AJ, he the camp leader. How is he not saying, yo man, what's this guy doing? Why is he? Yeah. Why is he about to nut over my training? And it shows you that AJ's fragile. He wants people who are just going to keep stroking him off. He don't want someone to tell him to be real with him. And that's why the YB hasn't been brought in, and that's why Shane McGuigan hasn't been brought in. Shane McGuigan told AJ, it's going to be me or it's going to be your crap team. I'm not doing this weird thing where you have me and you have a whole bunch of sidemen moaning and orgasming on the side of the ring. Guess what AJ chose? AJ chose, even though AJ has seen the success of Okolie, has seen look at how Okolie's career has changed. Okolie went from boring and no good. Well, no, he wasn't no good, but all Okolie was a bag of attributes. He didn't have nothing special, and now he a KO artist. Now he totally ferocious on his job. AJ, despite seeing all that success, said, you know what, nah, I'd rather stick with my Zesty team, who are going to blow smoke up my ass. And that says all you need to know about AJ. He's zesty. He loves zest. Yeah, he Kelly Maloney, 100%. He a Kelly Maloney looking ass. He a wannabe.